The garden behind the shop, consistency, practiced quietly over time, produces what no shortcut ever could. There was a small shoe repair shop at the end of Linden Street, owned by a man named Victor, who had run it for almost 40 years. Behind the shop, hidden from the street, was a small garden. Nothing remarkable, just tomatoes, a row of herbs, and a single apple tree that took 11 years to bear its first real harvest. Most people in town didn't know the garden existed. They only knew Victor as the slow, careful man who resoled their boots and never seemed in a hurry, even when a line formed at his counter. His nephew, Tomas, 23, and freshly graduated with a degree he wasn't using, came to stay with him for a summer after losing most of his savings in a cryptocurrency trade that had promised, with total confidence, to triple in 30 days. It had instead lost 80% of its value in 9. "I just need one good break," Tomas said, slumped at the kitchen table on his first night, scrolling through charts on his phone. "One real opportunity, and I'm set." Victor said nothing. He simply nodded toward the back door. "Come help me in the garden tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. Tomas arrived at 6:15, irritated and barely awake, to find his uncle already kneeling between 2 rows of tomato plants, checking each leaf individually. "Why 6 o'clock?" Tomas grumbled. "The plants don't care what time it is." "They care more than you'd think," Victor said, not looking up. "But that's not why I asked you to come at 6. I asked because most people who want shortcuts can't keep a 6 o'clock appointment with anything. I wanted to see if you could." They worked for nearly 2 hours, weeding, checking the irrigation line, tying a young branch of the apple tree to a wooden stake. Tomas, who had imagined gardening as a peaceful, almost lazy activity, was surprised by how much attention it demanded. Nothing here happened quickly. Nothing happened by accident either. "This tree," Victor said, resting a hand against its trunk, "gave me 4 apples its first useful year. 4. I almost cut it down. My wife told me to wait 1 more season. How long did it take to actually produce a real harvest? 11 years before I'd call it generous. It's been growing for 31 now. Every single year, without missing one, it's given more than the year before, except the year of the storm, and even then, it came back stronger the following spring." Over the following weeks, Victor started involving Tomas, not just in the garden, but in the shop itself. Tomas watched as the same regular customers came in week after week for small repairs, a sole rig-glued, a heel replaced, and Victor charged the same fair price every time, never inflating it during busy seasons, never undercutting it during slow ones. "You could probably charge more during the holidays," Tomas said one afternoon. "Everyone needs their boots fixed before winter." "I could," Victor agreed, "and I'd make more once. But the next time their soles wore down, they'd remember being charged extra when they needed me most." Consistency isn't just about results, Tomas. It's about being the kind of thing people can rely on without having to think about it. By late August, Tomas had begun keeping a small notebook tracking small, unglamorous financial habits. A fixed amount moved automatically into savings every payday, a weekly hour spent reading about investing, and a rule that he wouldn't make any financial decision the same day he learned about it. By the time September arrived, Victor walked him out to the apple tree, now heavy with fruit. People assume trees like this happen because of one perfect season. They don't. They happen because of every ordinary day nobody was watching. Tomas turned the apple over in his hand, surprised by its weight. "I think I spent a long time looking for the one perfect season," he said. "Most people do," Victor said. "The lucky ones realize eventually that the perfect season was never coming, and that the ordinary ones, repeated enough times, become something better than luck ever could." Tomas left Linden Street that September with considerably less money than he'd arrived with, but with something that felt oddly more durable. And every year, around harvest time, he called his uncle, not to ask about boots or shops, but simply to ask, "How's the tree?" The answer was always some version of the same thing. "Still here, still growing, one ordinary season at a time." End.